When I meet older adults in my clinic, many of them carry a quiet fear that they don't often share. They worry that one day their kidneys will give out on them and they'll be tied to a dialysis machine or lose the independence they love. What they don't realize is that kidney health can often be protected and even strengthened through everyday choices. Choices as simple as what they place on their plate. Could the humble fruits in your grocery basket hold the power to protect kidney tissue, reduce protein in the urine, and even calm down inflammation that silently harms these vital organs? Today, we're going to explore that surprising truth together. I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Channel Vital Science for Seniors, where we empower people over 50 to reclaim health, independence, and joy through simple science-based steps told with warmth and hope. When I think of the word antioxidant, I don't picture a chemistry lab or a textbook. I picture color, deep, rich reds, purples, and blues that seem to shout with life. That's what berries and cherries bring to the table. Not just sweetness, but nature's paintbrush dipped in healing pigments. For someone living with proteinuria, that stubborn leak of protein into the urine, those colors represent compounds that can protect fragile kidney filters from slow, relentless damage. I remember a patient named Maria, a retired teacher in her 70s. She came to me after her doctor noticed her creatinine levels creeping up. She was scared. Scared of the word dialysis, scared of losing her independence. She confessed she had always thought of berries as a fancy snack for young people. But when I encouraged her to add just a small bowl of blueberries to her morning oatmeal, she embraced it. Within months, her blood pressure softened, her lab results steadied, and she smiled again as she told me, "I feel like I'm doing something powerful for myself." The science supports what Maria felt. Berries are rich in anthocyanins, pigments that act like tiny shields inside the body. Just as a roof protects a house from harsh weather, anthocyanins protect kidney tissue from oxidative stress, the invisible rusting process that inflammation and high blood sugar can trigger. A study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry highlighted how blueberries reduced markers of oxidative stress in people at risk of metabolic disease. That same principle applies to protecting kidneys, which are particularly vulnerable to that kind of cellular wear and tear. Cranberries bring another gift. They help keep the urinary tract clear of infections by preventing bacteria from sticking to the bladder wall. For someone with weakened kidneys, a urinary infection can add tremendous stress. I've had more than one patient avoid repeat hospital visits simply by incorporating unsweetened cranberry juice into their week. And then there are cherries, especially the tart varieties. These little gems carry anthocyanins too, but they also help lower uric acid. Too much uric acid can create crystals that inflame joints and burden kidneys. I once worked with a gentleman named Harold, who loved his backyard cherries but had given them up after hearing about sugar and fruit. When we revisited that together, I explained moderation was the key. A small handful daily could ease his gout flares and lighten his kidneys' workload. He came back a few months later, delighted that not only was his joint pain calmer, but his nephrologist was pleased with his progress. Of course, the message isn't to devour baskets of berries and cherries without thought. Too much can upset the stomach, erode enamel, or spike blood sugar. But in moderate amounts, think a small handful, half a cup, gently folded into yogurt, or enjoyed fresh. They are not indulgences. They are allies. Allies that help protect kidney filters, soothe inflammation, support blood pressure, and give seniors like Maria and Harold a sense of control over something as intimate as their own health. When you hold a slice of watermelon on a hot summer day, juice dripping down your hand, it's easy to forget that what you're really holding is medicine disguised as refreshment. More than 90% of that bright red flesh is water. For someone with kidneys that are working hard to filter waste, staying hydrated isn't just about comfort, it's about survival. Proper hydration helps the kidneys flush toxins more smoothly, almost like rinsing out a coffee filter, so it doesn't clog. I recall one patient, Mrs. Thompson, a widow in her late 60s. She struggled with protein in her urine and high blood pressure, and she confessed she never liked plain water. "It feels like a chore," she told me, so we worked together to make hydration feel like pleasure again. She began keeping a bowl of cubed watermelon in her fridge, and every afternoon she'd sit by her window with a small plate. It wasn't just hydration, it became a ritual of peace. Over time, her fluid balance improved, her ankles weren't as swollen, and her labs showed her kidneys were under less strain. Beyond water, watermelon carries antioxidants like lycopene and vitamin C. Lycopene, the pigment that gives watermelon its red glow, acts like a firefighter inside the body, cooling down the flames of inflammation that can silently scar kidney tissue. It also contains an amino acid called citrulline, which helps blood vessels relax. Why does that matter? Because high blood pressure is one of the greatest villains when it comes to kidney damage, squeezing those delicate filters until they weaken. By relaxing the blood vessels, watermelon gently eases the load. Grapes bring a different kind of story. These small orbs, especially when eaten fresh and not dried, are packed with compounds like flavonoids and resveratrol. Resveratrol, found in the skin of red and purple grapes, has been studied for its ability to protect blood vessels and lower inflammation. One memorable study published in Kidney International suggested that antioxidants like these may slow the progression of chronic kidney disease by reducing oxidative stress. Think of oxidative stress as a slow corrosion, like rust spreading across metal pipes. Grapes help to slow that corrosion inside the kidney's fine vessels. There's also a practical side. Grapes are naturally low in sodium and phosphorus, two minerals that can build up when kidneys aren't filtering well. For people on a diet for kidney disease, every bite counts, and grapes provide sweetness without adding pressure. Their high water content also contributes to hydration, creating a double benefit. One of my patients, a retired gardener named James, used to snack on raisins. When we talked about kidney-friendly choices, I explained that raisins, while nutritious, are concentrated with sugar and potassium. Fresh grapes, on the other hand, were gentler on his kidneys. He made the switch, and within a few weeks he joked, "Doctor, I don't even miss the raisins. Grapes make me feel lighter." As with watermelon, moderation matters. Too many grapes can raise blood sugar, and too much watermelon can tip potassium levels higher than is safe for certain patients. But when enjoyed thoughtfully, these fruits hydrate, soothe, and protect. They remind us that nourishment can be sweet, refreshing, and deeply healing at the same time. Some fruits feel like old friends, reliable, familiar, never demanding the spotlight. Apples and peaches fall into this category, simple, gentle, and deeply supportive to the kidneys in ways many don't realize. They aren't flashy like exotic superfoods, but sometimes it's the everyday foods, eaten with care, that bring the greatest protection. I think of Eleanor, a woman in her 70s who had been managing high creatinine levels for several years. She often felt overwhelmed by all the talk of superfoods and miracle cures. She said, "Doctor, I just want something simple I can actually do every day." That's when we talked about apples. Naturally low in potassium, they make an easy choice for people who must watch their intake of certain minerals. Their soluble fiber, especially pectin, works like a sponge in the digestive tract, soaking up cholesterol and moderating blood sugar. Both of those are crucial for kidney protection, since high cholesterol and uncontrolled diabetes silently accelerate kidney damage. Apples are also rich in antioxidants, flavonoids, and vitamin C that ease inflammation. When kidneys are stressed, inflammation becomes a smoldering fire that never quite goes out. A crisp apple, especially with the skin left on, delivers gentle compounds that cool those flames over time. Eleanor began carrying an apple in her purse whenever she went for her daily walk. It wasn't long before she felt steadier, not because her kidneys had healed overnight, but because she was feeding her body something consistent and kind. Peaches tell a similar story, though in their own sweet, juicy way. With their delicate flavor and soft flesh, they're often overlooked, but nutritionally, they are a gift to the kidneys. Low in potassium and sodium, peaches ease the burden on kidneys that struggle to filter excess minerals. They're also filled with antioxidants, vitamin C, polyphenols, carotenoids, that work together to protect delicate kidney tissue from oxidative stress. If oxidative stress is like rust eating away at metal pipes, then these compounds act like a protective coating, slowing the damage and giving those pipes a longer life. I recall another patient, Frank, a retired postman. He loved canned peaches, the kind swimming in syrup. His blood sugar was creeping upward, and his nephrologist had warned him about his diet. We talked about choosing fresh peaches or canned in their own juice without added sugar. At first he grumbled, "It won't taste the same." But a few weeks later he came into my office with a grin and said, "Doctor, I've gotten used to the taste of fresh peaches. Now I don't even want the syrupy kind." His blood sugar improved, his kidneys weren't as stressed, and he felt proud of the change he had made. Both apples and peaches carry another hidden gift: hydration. While not as watery as watermelon, their natural moisture supports fluid balance, another key for kidneys. They also offer satisfaction with fewer calories, which helps with healthy weight management. Extra weight can strain blood pressure and worsen kidney function, so these simple fruits contribute indirectly to kidney health by supporting the whole body. Like all things, moderation is important. Too many apples can mean too much sugar, and some people experience allergies to peaches. But enjoyed in their natural state, an apple with the peel, a fresh peach on a summer day, they embody the idea that kidney protection doesn't always come from rare supplements or expensive powders. Sometimes it's the humble fruits you've known all your life, quietly working in your favor with every bite. Tropical fruits carry with them a certain brightness, almost like sunshine captured in their flesh. Pineapple with its golden glow, and citrus fruits, lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruits, each bring a zesty spark of health that can be powerful for kidneys under strain. One of my patients, Clara, had lived most of her life in the Midwest where citrus was a winter treat. In her late 60s, after being told her kidney function was slipping, she asked me nervously, "Doctor, are there any fruits I should run toward instead of run from?" Pineapple became her favorite discovery. Unlike many tropical fruits, pineapple is relatively low in potassium, which makes it safer for those who need to be cautious about this mineral. It also contains bromelain, a natural enzyme with anti-inflammatory effects. Think of bromelain as a gentle gardener, trimming away the weeds of inflammation that threaten to choke healthy kidney tissue. Pineapple also delivers a burst of vitamin C and antioxidants, which defend kidney cells against oxidative stress. This kind of stress is like a slow drizzle of acid rain, corroding the kidney's filtering units over time. Adding pineapple a few times a week, whether as fresh chunks or blended into a smoothie, can act as a small umbrella of protection. Clara loved the way pineapple gave her meals a sense of vibrancy, and she found that when she ate it, her digestion felt lighter. Of course, we reminded her of moderation, since too much pineapple can irritate the mouth or raise sugar intake. Citrus fruits carry their own special talents. They are famously rich in vitamin C, but for kidneys, their gift goes deeper. Lemons and limes, for instance, are high in citrate, a compound that binds with calcium in the urine. This helps prevent the formation of kidney stones, which can worsen kidney function and cause painful blockages. Imagine citrate as a friendly traffic officer inside the urinary tract, keeping calcium from crashing into other compounds and forming harmful stones. Oranges and grapefruits add not only vitamin C, but also flavonoids, plant-based chemicals that reduce inflammation and support blood vessel health. Since healthy blood vessels are essential for healthy kidneys, these fruits help keep the pathways smooth and flexible, ensuring the kidneys receive a steady flow of blood without added strain. Hydration plays a role here too. Many of my patients find plain water dull, but when I suggest adding a splash of lemon or lime juice, they brighten up. One gentleman told me he finally looked forward to his water once he started squeezing fresh citrus into his glass every morning. Something as simple as flavored water improved his hydration, and that made his kidneys' job easier. Still, caution has its place. Grapefruit in particular can interact with certain medications, especially those for blood pressure or cholesterol. And for those with advanced kidney disease, even the moderate potassium in citrus needs to be monitored carefully. But for many, a small orange, a few tangerine slices, or lemon-infused water becomes a daily ritual of both flavor and healing. In these tropical and citrus fruits, we see a blend of pleasure and protection. They remind us that even in the face of serious concerns like proteinuria or high creatinine, joy and healing can coexist on the plate. So, as we close this journey through nature's pharmacy, remember this: the path to protecting your kidneys doesn't have to be paved with fear or complicated rules. It can be as simple as choosing fruits that hydrate, soothe inflammation, lower blood pressure, and gently support those hardworking filters within you. Whether it's the tartness of cherries, the sweetness of peaches, or the brightness of citrus, each bite is a vote for your future health. I'm Dr. Brian, and I want you to know it's never too late to protect your kidneys and reclaim the independence and joy you deserve.